Hey everybody, it's Greg Howell from the Woodstock Club in Indianapolis, Indiana. And this is part 3 of a 3-part series on putting. And before we get into it, I want to remind you all that you can check out some of my instructional videos on YouTube at Golf Simplified by Greg Howell. So again, today we're going to talk about reading the green and a pre-shot routine, both of which are extremely important. So when exactly do you start reading a green? I start reading a green as soon as my ball approaches the green and gets on the green. If I'm off the edge of the green and I'm chipping, as soon as I hit my chip, I am intently watching my ball roll as it gets closer to the hole to see exactly how it's breaking. It might have a little left to right break, and then as it starts to slow down and gets to the hole, it might be starting to come back to the left. So hitting your shot and actually watching it very closely from either off the edge of the green or 30-40 yard pitch from off the green. Watch your ball, so as you come to the green, you're going to have a good sense of what your ball is going to do before you even get up there. Secondly, again, as I'm walking up towards the green, I'm always observing. I'm observing the tilt and the slope of the green, how severe it is from right to left or left to right, and just making general observations. And then as I walk up to the green of my ball, just feeling the slope under my feet as I walk. So those are subtle little things that a lot of players don't do, but good players definitely do pay attention to those type of things. The next thing is just simply, if you're playing, usually you're playing tournament golf or just, it could be professional golf or amateur golf, but playing in an event of some type, you're going to be playing in a threesome or a foursome. And you're a little bit of a disadvantage when you're the furthest away and the first one to putt, because you don't get to watch what other people are doing as far as their putt goes. But when I'm in that type of group and I'm the second or the third or fourth person to putt, I am not going to just be, not paying attention to what's going on. I'm going to watch very closely to each person that putts in front of me and watch what their ball does. Did they play more break and they missed it on the high side, or did they not play enough and miss it on the low side? Pay close attention to the pace of the putt that they hit. Did they knock it 3 feet past and hit it through the break, or did they just lag it up there and it broke off short of the hole before it got to the hole? Again, if we're both on the green and we're both relatively close to each other, but I'm a little bit closer, I am certainly going to stand at an advantageous point to where I can see that my opponent stroke his putt, but I'm not going to be in his peripheral vision. I'm not going to be in his way, but I'm going to be in a position where I can kind of move in and actually watch his ball roll as it gets closer to the hole. Again, just to take advantage of that. Perfectly well within the rules. I believe that the truest read is always going to come from directly behind the ball. And so when I get 5 or 6 feet down behind my ball, and the closer I get to the green, the better I feel like I can see the slope and the contour of the green. So again, I'm just looking for the subtleness of a left to right break, a right to left break. If I read the putt from here, from behind the ball, and I am confident in my read, then I'm not going to spend a whole lot of time looking at it from another angle. But if I look at it and I'm just really kind of perplexed and I'm not sure, I'm going to maybe walk around to the side and look at it from the side. And I certainly am going to go back to the opposite side of the hole and again take a look at it from that side, knowing that in my mind, whatever I see from directly behind my ball is usually the read that I'm going to go with. So that kind of brings me to the aiming point. And when I'm reading that putt, if you'll look at this cup, I've got some lines on there. And I've got a line that is straight in, and then I've got a left center line and a right center line. I've got an inside left line, an inside right line, and then 1 ball out, 2 balls out to the left, 1 ball out, 2 balls out to the right, and so on. It may be 4 inches out, or a cup, or 6 inches, or 12 inches, but so that's the way I'm reading it. Do I think that it's a left center putt or a right center putt? And I'm always thinking that that cup is 4 1/4 inches wide. Okay, and so if I've got a 6-footer and I'm reading that putt, if I put it on the left edge and it's breaking to the right, it's got to break more than 4 inches if I keep it inside that left edge in order for me to miss it on the low side. So again, a big part of that is also pace, the speed of your putt. A fantastic player, Tom Watson, was a very firm putter. He really, on his short putts particularly, he always liked to take the break out. He hit putts much firmer. I don't think he very often played a ball outside the hole from 4 or 5 feet. He liked to keep it inside the hole and hit it a little bit firmer. I, on the other hand, have never been brave enough to knock a 4-footer 4 feet past the hole. I'm more of a die putter, so I tend to see a little bit more break than maybe some other players that like to hit it a little bit firmer into the back of the cup. My balls tend to kind of generally kind of roll in right over the lip of the putt when I make them. So hopefully those types of things with regard to reading the green will help you. Then I just want to talk a little bit about pre-shot routine. And so you're going to notice that good players have a routine when they are making a full swing, and they also have a routine when they finally make it to the putting green. And I'm going to assume that I've already read my putt. We've done what I just talked about. I've read my putt, and before I step up to my putt, I am 100% confident and 100% committed to my read. If there's any doubt whatsoever, you better step away and not step up to start your routine until you're 100% sure. So as I approach my ball, I'm going to come up and I just simply relax, take a deep breath, exhale, and I'm going to take 2 practice strokes. And within those 2 practice strokes, I'm looking at the hole and back to my ball, looking at the hole, and I am trying to replicate the exact stroke, the exact length of stroke and the speed of stroke that I'm going to make when I stepped up to actually hit my ball. So I'm always going to take 2 practice strokes, and then as I put my putter behind my ball to aim, to align, I'm going to take 1 look back to the ball, and when I take that first look, if it's a left edge putt, I am going to watch my ball, imagine my ball rolling along the intended starting line, starting at the left edge and breaking right into the hole. I'm going to see that. I'm going to hear the ball rolling into the cup into my mind. So visually, I try to watch it roll into the cup on the first look, and then I'm back to the ball and I check my alignment. And when I take that second look at the hole and I come back to the ball, that is my trigger to start my stroke and execute my putt. So I take 2 practice strokes. I'm going to set my putter behind the ball. I'm going to visualize my ball rolling along the break into the hole. I check my alignment, back to the hole, second look, back to the ball, execute my stroke, and hopefully knock it in. So, as always, remember at Simplified Golf, I always want you to keep it simple. Thanks for watching.